Oh, hey everybody, I'm Jared. I'm an alcoholic from Florida.
Hey, Jared.
Um, this is my first time speaking outside of a rehab, and today I am 6 months, 2 weeks sober. I started my journey obviously like everybody else, hitting my rock bottom, but I was a pretty good kid for the most part, and pretty normal parenting. You know, it was about teenage years I started drinking. I was 13 and I slammed probably half a bottle, and ended up on a neighbor's porch. And they called my parents. My parents called the cops. They came and picked me up. Um, that was my last time drinking for a while. Um, and I apologize if it offends anybody if I'm talking about dry goods, but I tried dry goods my first time when I was 15 years old, and that basically led me down that path for a while, and didn't really drink a whole bunch. Um, about 1920, started drinking more and more, and started to become an issue. I had some pretty bad stuff happen to me when I was younger that I was kind of holding on to and holding a resentment for. And because of that, I was trying to become somebody I was not. And eventually that caught up to me. Um, Started going out to clubs and bars and living the nightlife quite a bit. And meeting new people that were also drinking and doing what I was doing, and those people became my new friends. And I didn't really have a whole bunch of friends, anyways. So started hanging out at this place. It's called Williams Park, and it's in St. Petersburg. It's like a bum park, basically. Hanging out with bums and um, just hanging out with anybody that was doing what I was doing, and it was easy to get stuff around there. So I hung out for quite a while until I figured out that those people were losers, and I was better than that. So I started hanging out at bars at 21 and 20, and uh, eventually I kind of went and started doing other dry goods, but alcohol was always there. I never really saw it as a problem because it was legal, and most people that I know were doing it, and it wasn't really a big issue. It didn't seem like a big issue to everybody else. Um, so I'll speed up a little bit. Um, my first time basically becoming sober and hitting my rock bottom, I almost went to prison for getting into a fight out in front of a bar. Started with me hitting a girl, and then I got into a fight with a whole bunch of other guys, and they were gonna sentence me uh, probably for about 5 years because she'd said that I stole her cell phone, which I didn't. I think somebody there might have, but I'm not sure. I don't really remember too much. I was pretty blacked out. Um, so that opened up my eyes, and I then went to my first. Somebody's microphones getting loud, but I then went to my first AA meeting by choice. After talking to my mom, and she said that I need to get help. I was crying to her on the phone about it because that's not something that I would do. Um, so from that point, I went to the meeting, and I remember back when I'd gone for the courts, I was like looking around like, I'm, better than these people. Like, they don't know me. They don't know what they're talking about. Eventually, like, um, I left because of that. I never really stuck around. But this time in the meeting, my first time by choice, I looked around the room and I was like, you know, these people are better than me. And, it struck. I was completely vulnerable to the whole, uh, the whole thing at that point, and started really listening. And I got a sponsor, and I started working a couple steps, but I wasn't fully ready at that point because I was still smoking, and every couple weeks or every 3 weeks, and I was going around saying I was sober, and that went on for about 7 months, and I moved out of the sober home I was at and got an apartment. The person that I was living with was drinking and smoking, and so I ended up partaking eventually. And from that point, I just went in and out of AA here and there. I knew that, like, once you get into it, you know that it's the path that you have to take, but it's just hard getting back into AA. Well, eventually, since 6 months and 2 weeks ago, I'd had enough. I was getting back into drugs again. That's something that I hadn't done for a while, like doing the heavier drugs, and I was seeing that I was going down the same path. So, um, yeah, I showed back up to my apartment or my room for rent here where I'm at, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun was out. It was just a horrible feeling, and my roommate, who was staying here for a while, was in AA, and he said, "You should go to Circuit And Circuit is Southeast Regional Young Peoples of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I was like, I had no clue what it was. So I was thinking it's a big meeting, like a big YPG thing. So there's going to be probably like, 60 people there. Well, I showed up, and there's like 1,000 young people just running around. And I really felt out of place. So I had my mom come and hang out, so that way I could break the ice, because I was so uncomfortable and awkward and not okay with myself and didn't want to talk to anybody. So I broke the ice, and I got into the room, and they were doing the countdown, and they're going down, from 50 something years of sobriety all the way down to my one day of sobriety. And it completely opened my eyes. I had never felt that much energy in AA before. And it was like, wow, this is something I really want. So I stuck with it. Like, I started hitting that book, and I got a sponsor, got another sponsor, because, that sponsor wasn't doing what I wanted, and I was trying to run the show. Got another sponsor, and that's my sponsor now. He basically put me in my place. And I've been very involved with YPAW since that. In my area, we host a lot of events, and we go to a lot of events with other people that we co-host with, and I do a lot of service work through YPAW, and I'm very involved now, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I've met so many people in AA. I can literally go anywhere, probably in the world, and have family there, like the AA family and YPAW family. It's just really cool, and I'm never a dull moment. And I got a career now. I take care of my bills. I I don't have those dramatic issues in my life anymore, and things are just really looking up. Not that it's all perfect, because I mean it's not all glamour. I wish I could say it was. I wish I could say that it was just the fix that just happened right off the bat. Now I'm successful, and bad things happen still, and the best thing I can do is really just stay sober through it all, and um, remember where I came from and what it was like and where I am now, and that really helps me to stick with it, because honestly, I don't think I've had this much fun in a long time since I was probably a child, because I was always partaking in all the other stuff. And I'm sorry about my cold and my voice. It's just pretty sick right now. I'm trying to get over it before work tomorrow, but we'll see if that happens. So that's basically that's the gist of my life, and that's a small piece of it. I didn't get into too many details, just that it was bad. It got really bad. It got way worse than I said it did. Like, I didn't give you all the gory details, but were the war stories. But it definitely is way better now, and I'm super happy that I'm here, where I'm at in life, and I really enjoy it now. So thanks for letting me share.